Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Andy's Toolbox. In this episode, we have my favorite video to do, a snap-on tool haul. And welcome to my shop. I've been able to replace a few items since they've taken a poop on me. For one, I got a new sound system. This Craig CD player with Bluetooth. It cost me about $30 on Amazon. That was a super good deal, and it works great. I've been working on my scooter, got all my carb adjustment tools. Been working on this bad boy. Got it on the battery tender over there. I got my Volkswagen right here on the battery tender as well. You know, you got to use those battery tenders, especially if you don't drive your car every day, because or bike, because they keep the batteries from going bad on you. So always use battery tender on your vintage cars and power sports equipment and stuff when you're not using them. So anyway, got my carb parts, all these parts here. If you're into two strokes to tune the carburetor, you got needles, you know, choke stuff, you got barrels and slides right there, you got pilot jets. I got a bunch in here. I got my little cheat, you know, slip there for what's working and what's not. I write down what's working and what's not. So I got all that. I got my super eyes so I can see those little fucking parts, because they're hard to see, and I already wear glasses and I'm getting old and I can't fucking see for worth of shit compared to when I was 23 years old. So didn't need glasses back then, but you know, you get old and stuff starts deteriorating, going bad on you. Anyway, it's my favorite time and favorite kind of video to make, and that is a snap-on tool haul. I'm a big snap-on fan. Not a fanboy, but definitely a fan. I love all the tool truck companies. I think that if they couldn't have done it right with the big engine movement, you know, of the 60s and 70s, and the muscle cars, which I hate muscle cars. You know, if you're into muscle cars, I'm sorry, I don't mean to offend you, but I just don't understand the point of having 500 horsepower in a coupe, you know what I mean, unless you're racing it or whatever. So, but what they did do was, you know, make tool trucks and great fucking tools. So I use all my American tools on my Chinese and German stuff, and I'm very happy doing that. If America holds the chalice in something, it is tools. They make the best fucking tools here. I don't care what anybody says. So I have here, next to my dirty shop rag, my tool haul, and this is what you get for about $275, $280 from Snap-on. You get 3 high torque wrenches and a brand new set, and they didn't have these in the orange grip. I talked to the guy on the phone after I ordered these, and he said he could order them for me, and then he said there was a lock on them because they're not available to anybody but people buying off a tool truck right now. So I'm stuck with the red. I'm a big fan of the orange handles, but this is what I got, and I guess I'll have to suck it up. I do have a few, you know, like these are red here. These are big Python snap-ons. I got a few red ones from them, but not a whole lot. Mostly I go with orange. These are orange here. Those are some duckbills, you know. Mostly I go orange with Snap-on when they're available. So, okay, so I didn't, you know, I used to see these beautiful wrenches here, and in some toolbox tours, and I'm like, why the hell would anybody need, you know, a wrench that long? Whatever, you know, all I viewed it as was a long a very long wrench, you know, and I just figured, you know, why not just use a socket if you need a wrench that's that long. So anyway, I've been at Harbor Freight, you know, because I like going down there and looking at what's cheap and good, you know, from time to time. And they have these very same wrenches, except there's a ratcheting. And, you know, I've been wanting to actually get the set from Harbor Freight. They're about, you can get them for about 120 bucks, you know, after tax, with coupons and discounts. And if you have the store card like I do, you even get more money back. So I was going to get them actually, and not that I needed them, because I'm more of a welder than an actual mechanic. I do a lot more welding than mechanic work. But lately I've been doing a lot of mechanic work. Unfortunately, I've had my vehicles broken down on me, and it's just been a nightmare. And I've been doing a lot of mechanic work and trying to figure out and fix some stuff, which has been great learning experience, but not fun, especially if you want to weld and you're, you know, stuck doing that most of the day, most of the time. You kind of, your hot welding skills kind of get, you know, rusty and cold, you know, as months and months go by. So, you know, I don't like when that happens. You know, it's always, you know, a pain in the ass knocking all the rust off and getting those skills honed back into what they were before you lost them. So I've been on the fence about buying the Harbor Freight set, but didn't need them. You know, I just really liked them. The deal was good. They look really nice. And, you know, I'm sitting there at Harbor Freight oogling these, because when I go down there, I look at all the stuff that I want but don't want to spend money on, especially the amount of money that they want for those wrenches, which is a lot. And if all the stars are aligned, you could get them cheap. But every time I go in there, I'm looking at a $200 price tag, you know, to get them. So I'm looking at the price tag, I'm looking at the wrench. I'm like, well, you know, those wrenches are worth $200. They're really nice wrenches, okay? So and I've seen these wrenches here, and I'm like, those are like the Snap-on wrenches, you know? I'm looking at them, you know, and I'm like, wait, those aren't like the Snap-on wrenches. So what I noticed was on these Snap-on wrenches, there's a socket on the end. That's a socket. The Pittsburghs, or the Icons, I'm sorry, Pittsburgh. Don't know what I'm thinking. The Icons don't have the socket on the end. They're just, you know, they come out like a wrench. And I'm looking at that and I'm like, well, what does that offset do? Well, you know, the guys on YouTube that have these wrenches, oh, they talk about the offset. They got an offset, you know, you can get in places. Well, that's not necessarily what that is. What that is, you know, is it's essentially the size of a socket. So if you take this wrench here, and let me grab a 19 mil out of my drawer here. If you take this wrench here, and anybody who says that I'm full of shit is wrong, because I've had this happen many of times. If you take that wrench there, you notice that the broaching is see, that's lined up pretty good like that. You see how much bigger that broaching is. See, this wrench here, it won't fit in some places, and you got to use a socket sometime. And this one here, which is broached like a socket, it's broached like a socket. Now I've taken a socket and lined it up with this, and this is just slightly bigger than a Snap-on socket. And a Snap-on socket has really good broaching to begin with. So if you got, some sockets would probably be bigger than that and you couldn't get them in places. But this wrench, it's not the offset that matters. What matters is that they put this big socket end on it, which gives it strength, durability, kind of gives it an offset. And not only that, but it gives it the strength to have the broaching of a socket. So these wrenches, I'm at Harbor Freight and I'm having an epiphany. I'm like, oh, you know, that's what that is. And I'm like, well, I'm telling my old lady, I'm like, you know, I'm not gonna, I'm telling her, you know, why I'm not going to get the wrenches now. You know, oh, the Snap-on ones have the broaching, you know, as I'm having this epiphany. And they have the offset is what I was telling her. And you know what I mean? I'm like, okay, well, maybe there's more to that. So I popped and I got these wrenches, and lo and behold, you know, my intuition was right. That has very small broaching, and it is just like a socket. So you can get these wrenches in where you can't get these big boy, you know, heavier duty wrenches in. Also, they're also heavy duty, you know, because of the offset. It adds strength to the head of that. So that it's brilliant. It's freaking brilliant. Snap-on, you know, nailed it with these wrenches. You know, they do a lot, and now I understand why everybody and their mother has them in their toolbox. And they're very expensive, but they actually, even as a welder, I can appreciate, you know, having them in my toolbox, because I'm pretty sure that, you know, I'm going to be able to use them and get my money's worth out of them. So first I got these, and of course I got the brand new to the market. These are the 7-inch edition, you know, part number right there, LN46 ACF, adjustable needle nose, and 7-inch edition. I'm probably gonna later on, well, I don't know, I might get the 8, probably not actually, because these are more like little service pliers that kind of get in. The 8s are kind of a little bit too big. I don't know what I'd really need that much, you know, nose for. These would probably do just fine. And like I said, I'm a welder. I already have, you know, lots of metalworking pliers and stuff. Most of my stuff is geared towards, you know, just what I need for to get a job done. Nothing really extra, you know. So and because I do mechanical, welding, plumbing, electrical, and everything, I already have a million pliers. And so these are probably, you know, these were kind of a want as well, but I'm pretty sure that I've needed something like this in the past. They open up, and you can kind of grab something, you know, flush, instead of having it, you know, at an angle. So that will be pretty handy. And I do like the machining that they did there. It's super beefy right here, and it's more fine. It's got some turning spots, flat spots. It's got this spot here, and the play on them is, you know, it's decent. There's not a lot of wobble in there. So unfortunately, every time I buy a pair of Snap-on pliers, they come with a little bit of Snap-on on them. That's some embedded dirt. It ain't rubbing off, as you can see. Most of my Snap-on pliers come like that. I don't know why they can't take better care of their pliers. You know, I don't know why they don't bag them, and, you know, individually, and then, you know, I don't know. But if I got that in a set of tools that was boxed, I'd probably be pretty pissed off. But I mean, I'm not that fickle, because I am buying from them directly, and I know they just pull these out of a bin, put them in a plastic bag, and sell them to me. So, but if I was, you know, couriering a tool truck, you know, and, you know, lining their pockets, I'll probably be a little bit pissed off, you know, having to spend so much money every week on a tool truck, coming by and, you know, having dirty ass shit all over my brand new tools that are supposed to be the best in the world and all that. But I understand. Look, I understand. They just pulled these out of a bin and shipped them to me. They don't give a fuck about my business. And you know, they're not a tool truck guy. All they want is to give me the tool that I paid for, and, you know, whatever. So anyway, so that was my tool haul. This is a Cat brand wrench. This is also made by Snap-on. Those are my metrics. Love these wrenches. They're really good. Anyway, it's all the snap-on right there. So this is what 300 or 275, 280, $280 worth of, minus that, of snap-on tools look like that. Get you these wrenches though. If you're not up on why people are buying these wrenches, they're a gem, and you will probably find a need to stick a socket wrench like that's got the broaching the size of a socket and the strength of a socket onto a fastener and really rake on it. It will happen. I'm a welder. I'm telling you, it will happen. So I mean, you don't got to be a pro mechanic to buy these wrenches and know that you're probably going to need them. So this is an A+ on Snap-on. So that'll wrap it up. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Andy's Toolbox and keeping me company, you know, on my endeavor through life, you know, learning how to work on stuff on my own, and you know, sharing the tidbits that I pick up along the way with y'all out there in YouTube land. So like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and get notified when I release new content. Stay tuned for the next time. Thanks guys. Peace out.